Hi, Bonsai Ligan here. We will be working on this bonsai. And now this bonsai has reached a stage wherein we need to further decrease its leaf size. So this bonsai I am comparing to this bonsai because this one has a very decreased leaf size already. This has the same species, Epremna microphylla, but this one has a very decreased leaf size compared to this. And as part of the technique or the method to decrease this leaf size, the leaf size of this, we have to transfer this in a smaller pot. This is its training pot which is relatively larger than it has to be. So I will compare the leaf. I will show you the leaf of this one and that one on the side, which is very much mature. So that one is the mature bonsai, same species with this. So if you look at the leaf size, this one is much larger than this leaf size. Okay. See, this one has a very mature leaf size compared to this one. Okay, you might be wondering what's this large leaf yet. So this one is a large leaf because I have a branch which I am growing. See, I'm still growing this branch as a sacrifice branch to fill up this space here. Okay, so this is now a sacrifice branch, and it is also called an escape branch because it escapes its silhouette canopy. So this is a much mature bonsai, has been here for more than 12 years. Okay, and it is in a very small pot. See, it's very dirty, but that's its original pot. That is its pot made of clay. But compared to this pot, a training pot for this bonsai. Okay, and there's and that side the mature one. So to work on this, I have to put this in a work table and then replace it with a not very small pot. You cannot, you should not transfer it drastically in a very small pot, so that you will have at least 75% of its root ball remaining after you will be trimming this trimming this pot, this roots. So this is the bonsai. We have transferred it into this work table. So okay, so if you notice, the pot is relatively large. So I am planning to replace this with a pot which is slightly smaller than this. So this is the pot. See? It is basically of the same width, but shallower and shorter. So if you look to this side, so it's basically of just smaller a little bit. So basically of the same width. I'd like to have it the same width because of this root. So this root has to be inside the pot. Okay, but we still have some space here. Okay, so at 360 of the tree. You see, I allowed some, but I have to remove this. I will remove this now because I was just trying to build this first branch. So now the first branch is, this one is thicker, from this point of view, and then I just would like to have some fill up that with twigs. So this one has to be removed. This one was allowed to grow for a while to thicken this further. So the 360. So this was already shown 3 times. So this will be the 3rd time that I will feature this bonsai. Okay. Okay, so this is its 360. I think the branches already are thick enough, though you would like still to grow some more twigs or ramified roots, ramified branches here, but in due time that will occur. So what we need is to train the roots also now, start training the roots. Okay, the history of this is that this plant had another branch here, or another fused trunk here, almost fusing, but that was ugly, so I removed it. Okay. And I planted this in this pot at first. So there was no branches. This was just a stump planted here, and then it grew. Then I repotted it to a much larger pot, a flower pot, in order to grow the base branches thick. After which I put it back in this training pot, and now I am in a stage of training the roots such that the roots will grow more finer roots, and I will be cutting the large roots. Okay, and simultaneously it will be also on the leaf reduction stage, and then leaf reduction, and then ramification, and that will be the start of its sort of the final stage of refining stage of the bonsai. So for now, that's it, and I don't know if I will be cutting some of the branches because they look straight, but for now this is it. This will be a bonsai. Okay. Okay, some red. We need to remove as much because we will be cutting some roots and to remove the load, or to decrease the load. So this is now our bonsai plant. See, we have placed here some screen, and this is our tie wires. That's how it looks at the back, the bottom. And this is our finer soil, and this is our kita sa video. Okay, two sizes, but those are too plenty. We'll be only using very few of those soil, because as much as possible we will put it as a root ball. Okay, we're trying to remove the anchor wires. There are two. Here's another here. So you know. Usually I put 2 anchor wires, so then we will pull this from the bottom. So we are unlocking the second tie wire. We have to cut them so that when we pull from the bottom, it will be much easier, but sometimes it will. So we're not going to. Okay, so that's how the bottom. Okay. So that's the bottom part. I will give focus. So that was how it. Okay. That was how it was long ago. Okay, so we're going to remove that. Okay, we are removing the other. Do you think we have removed everything? So then we're going to stand it back so that we can loosen the soil. Loosen the soil down, diri down. All over. So we are loosening the soil from its side. So you must loosen it all throughout so that we can remove this as a root ball, as a whole system, as one system. Thorough gid dong, thorough. Kanang kuan ba? Walay laktaw. Laktaw kayo. Sunod gid. Di na maibot niya. Sige pa. Okay, ako di mo be. Okay. So when you loosen it, that's the way to do it. You loose it as deep as you can, then without trying to minimize damage on the roots, because you would like to see what's going on or how the roots are being formed before you cut them. Our goal is to cut only very minimal roots. See? Thoroughly all over. Thoroughly as much as possible all over. Okay, and then we shake the plant up and down. Okay. And the other side. This time. Okay. Shake it then. Lift kaya akong pauna. Water dito. So the screens are okay, so we'll just scrape off. So scrape off. Kuha ko gunting to mo. Scrape to loosen the roots. So imo ni dong. Imo ni scrape dong kay ako tong kuan dong. Gunting. So we may now cut. So the effect of this, when you cut the roots, the effect is that it will recover by branching out. So you will have more small roots like this. This is the kind of roots that you want. But the problem is this root is at the tip of the thick roots, but we cannot also cut too many of them. So maybe, as I've said a while ago, leave at the least 75%. So we'll just cut about 20%. So there's no way to measure how much you cut. It's just instinct or just by your own judgment. So since you've cut, we're going to use a new soil at the bottom so that it will not burn the newly cut roots, because these old roots this old soil has some fertilizer. One guiding principle: do not fertilize when you have just cut roots. Even your fertilizers are organic. So somehow it can burn. So wait for another 3 months. Then you mix it. This one are large roots. This is what you do not want. Okay. How much did I have cut already? So this one are large roots. So maybe if I would be able to cut a little more than 20%, that will still be okay. Of course, we have to put this under shade after removing the roots, because this is now in a energy imbalance state. The roots might not be able to support the existing canopy. So one technique is to also timely to defoliate, especially now that we are in the stage of leaf reduction. So I think we've taken enough. So ibutang do itong ikaw sa kuan ng hapat. Now we will try to fit in, scrape a little down para mo fit in. This side. Try to. Sige ka. Isukod ko na doon, sulod ba? Asa ba? Asa. Anak. We'll try to fit this in. Some roots still have to be cut. Kamunting dong. Ibong no. Padayan. So some roots are large, so we'll try to remove this. Okay, hopefully. But I've said the secret to this, the safest thing to this, after you remove this unwanted large roots, so like this one, you have to put it in the shade first. Do not put it back to the sun. Okay? Because now the roots are, we could safely assume that the root quantity, I mean the system is not enough to support this canopy ups. But anyway, we might decide today to just defoliate that also. Actually, when you defoliate, you have also a longer time to let the roots recover, because there is no growth hormone stimulating the roots. Anyway, but this one. So it's a compromise actually. You're going to remove some roots and you remove the leaves, so that is in effect ensuring that there is not much moisture demand. Okay, because you have removed the leaves, and so your roots has a chance of really being able to supply what the much lesser demand now from the canopy, because you have removed the leaves. So okay, that's the secret. Then plus putting it in the shade, and you observe it when there will be new shoots growing, then that's a time to. Okay. So ako na ipakita nung ha. Like for example, this one. There are so many large roots, relatively large roots. So I remove this so that it will grow as a replacement smaller roots. Okay. Because these roots are the roots which build these large branches. Now we have already large branches. You don't need to grow them thicker. So what you do is just want is just to let it ramify. So no more thickening of branches at this stage. Just letting it ramify, and again the main purpose of putting this in a small pot and defoliating it is to create a smaller size leaf, and then it will be on its own. Okay, now we are tying the bonsai to the pot. So that is the decided position. If you see this tree is flowing to this side because of, see, and then so this is this a little bit back in the pot. So the technique is to pull first before you twist to tighten. So it's not necessary. In this case, the root is quite stable, so it's not necessary to really tie it so tight, just snugly. Okay. So for now, that's the tie wires are very visible, but eventually we can hide that. Okay. So we have decided to defoliate this. Okay, so 360 kano din daw. Okay, turn around ko na daw. Then with the new pot, that's a new, it's with the now that it's a pot wherein we can say that even for sure that will be its right pot size. So 360. So that's the direction of the flow. Because there is such thing as movement in bonsai. So for bonsai beginners, movement. And so when you say also, when you talk about movement, you must have a sense of direction. So the first branch usually determines the sense of direction. So in that case, so the first branch is growing to your right, and that determines the sense of direction of the wind, and that's the shape of the tree as well. Okay, so we will start defoliating, and we will show you later on how it looks when it is fully defoliated. Sige, turn. Hinay lang.